Hello everyone, and welcome to the Discngine virtual coffee chat. I'm your host, Maria Martini, and today I am having a coffee break with Steve McCloskey and Edgardo Leija from Nanome to talk about the amazing opportunities of virtual reality for drug discovery. So let's just start with a brief introduction of the two of you. And could you also tell us more about what Nanome is doing?
Hey, I'm Steve McCloskey, CEO and co-founder at Nanome. Background in nano engineering. Really founded the company to try to get hands-on with molecules and start designing as a nano engineer. For the most part, we've been working with life sciences and pharmaceutical companies to help them get hands-on with their molecules and actually design better medicine.
And hi everyone, my name is Edgardo Leija. I'm one of the co-founders of Nanome as well. Previously, I worked at Google and Hewlett-Packard. I have a background in computer science, more specifically in human-computer interaction. My focus these days is around growing Nanome in the biotech and pharmaceutical industry.
Thank you very much. Could you tell us what are the benefits of having such an advanced technology for drug discovery?
So, there's a lot of benefits of using immersive media for drug discovery. Actually, the whole industry has been exploring this field for about 50 years since computer interfaces were invented. They've gone through everything from stereo glasses and different types of input devices. But now, with the advent of modern virtual reality hardware and having pretty much commodity VR hardware just ready from multiple suppliers. Really high quality experience. You have the hand controllers in there, and so we try to make our application very intuitive. So you're able to grab and interact and move things around like you would normally move things around in real reality, even though you're down at the nanoscale and you're dealing with atoms and molecules. We also make our application very collaborative as well. So people from around the world could go into a VR headset, join on the internet, and connect with each other and be telepresent and get on the same page about exactly which residue is interacting with their chemical, what the best candidates that they have are, and get on the same page super quickly. And then it's also integrated with other great software like Discngine through the web browser that we have in VR, as well as an API that we have that could connect with other applications. And so you could pretty much use VR as like your intuitive medium for interacting with digital molecular files, while still using different backend tools that could basically be run on a cloud compute server and then feed that information back to the user. And so, really when you combine the collaborative, intuitive, and integrated aspects of Nanome, you end up with a really inclusive environment for doing scientific discovery. And so, we're really seeing this as an emerging scientific metaverse where people from around the world could actually get together and share with the research and help make novel discoveries for humanity.
Wow, that's extremely interesting and extremely important in the today's world. I know that you are working with some major pharma companies and biotechs, and I am really curious to hear how does it work for them. So could you share examples of some projects that you are working on together?
Sure, yeah. We're already working with half of the top 20 pharmaceutical companies, and each of them have their own way of receiving some benefits from the software. Whether they're medicinal chemists, structural biologists, computational chemists, or CAD modelers, there's several overlapping themes. Examples include things like creating a collaborative environment that enables scientists to work together at the office or from their homes. And a great example of this is the work from Escalate for Cove and all of their COVID-19 research efforts. This is a group of 18 different organizations spread out all across Europe that leverage supercomputers, machine learning, and Nanome to work on identifying new therapies against SARS-CoV-2. On a similar vein to COVID research, Steve, would you like to talk about Oak Ridge National Lab?
Yeah, there's also Oak Ridge National Lab. Andrei Kovalevsky just put out a paper recently showing their findings. They were using virtual reality to analyze the main protease of the coronavirus. They've actually generated some novel therapeutics that could be used as antiviral medications to help treat patients that have contracted COVID-19. So that's just one example that I thought was really cool because during the pandemic we had all these people working remote in VR with the VR headsets, and they were actually analyzing the coronavirus proteins to fight the coronavirus, and now we're actually seeing some of that pan out. So I'm really excited to see where those molecules go.
Wow, that's really great to hear that it works so well and that it helps so much. But how researchers know when is the right time for VR? So, what is the best time to have it for the project?
Yeah, so for all structure-based drug design projects, they could start benefiting from Nanome pretty much immediately. There's been several occasions where seeing their structures in Nanome change the direction of where the organization applies their resources, which has saved them significant amount of time and money. So when's the best time? Today.
Perfect. And once one decides for VR, what is the learning experience? How do people get used to the equipment, the features, for example?
Well, a lot of the way that they design virtual reality is extremely intuitive. They try to make it as natural as possible. So there's usually some onboarding apps that are included with the headset that show you how to get started, how to use the controls, and then we actually have a basics onboarding in our app that shows you specifically how to use those controls in Nanome. But then beyond that, we offer spatial recorded tutorials. And so there's pretty much an avatar there explaining, walking you through, guiding you through how to actually use everything. This is a recording of a person that was made earlier. And so it feels like they're live talking with you in real time, but thousands of people could sort of experience that same learning experience as well. But typically that'll get you up to speed, and you'll be able to be designing molecules, changing the ways to view protein structures. But beyond that, we also engage with our customers pretty hands-on. We'll set up virtual reality training sessions, have some of our application science team actually join them in virtual reality. And yeah, we could do that all remotely. So sometimes we'll visit in person, but with the modern world the way it is, everyone could just connect on the internet and just join up in the metaverse.
And we actually worked on a publication with Novartis that got published in the Journal of Molecular Graphics and Modeling, where it mentions that their scientists were able to start feeling comfortable exploring their structures within minutes of being exposed to the software. So fairly intuitive.
Wow, that sounds really great and sounds like fun having such an advanced tool. So finally, where do you see VR in the future? So which challenges do you expect to overcome, maybe in some other branches in drug discovery or even beyond in some other industries?
Yeah, so we could see VR is starting to hit this mainstream adoption point. And there's standalone affordable headsets that are pretty high quality. They have 6-degree freedom controllers. They allow all the input. And really that's happened in the past few years, that it's become so affordable and just ready to go, and really a part of normal people's lives now. Not everyone, but a lot more people. So I think headsets like that really enable anyone to get started with science. And so, I really want to see more scientists around the world, picking up VR, learning about drug discovery, going into drug discovery. But right now, we're actually seeing a bigger uptick in the pharmaceutical companies that are, re-exploring VR because, they might have explored immersive cave systems, 10, 20, 30 years ago. But nowadays, they understand, how available and how much the hardware is improving every year. They also see our software improve, and that's a pretty big factor for them because obviously we're building their dream interface that they've been wanting for 10, 20, 30 years. And so when they get to see their protein in VR for the first time, they're absolutely amazed and blown away. And that feeling doesn't really go away. It kind of stays with you every time you you go in. So yeah, I think that the industry is going to be adopting this across the board probably over the next decade. We've already seen a lot of adoption. Half the top 20 pharmaceutical companies, and we think that's going to keep spreading and going into biotech and pharmaceuticals. Beyond that, there's other areas of molecular research that are very relevant. Anything that involves molecules and proteins, and really anything at the nano scale, hence our name Nanome, is going to be applicable for this virtual reality environment. For instance, GPCRs, you have different like flavor receptors on your tongue and your nose and other areas that allows you to smell and taste. And so, that's an area where you could design a molecule to specifically interact with those GPCRs, and you could design new things like flavors. And so we've actually gotten some traction in food and beverage, helping a food and beverage company to design, new flavors. So that's kind of awesome. A little bit unexpected when we set out on this journey to help, create novel medicine and better therapeutics and help save lives and improve patient lives. But hey, if you get to have a better LaCroix flavor. Now, we're not working with LaCroix, but that's just, the example I always think of when I think about, engineering new flavors is, getting that new taste. And it's kind of, fun to think about the molecular interactions happening when you actually, drink something like that. Beyond that, ton of traction in, synthetic biology as well. A lot of people have been designing new protein structures, trying to design, new organisms even that could synthesize new things like new chemicals or insulin production. Really excited to see where that work goes over the next 10 years. And then also, of course, material sciences, a little bit of my background. I think that things like metal organic framework design really lend themselves to virtual reality because it's the same three-dimensional problem that you have in drug discovery, except for it's inverted, where instead of designing the lock to fit in, instead of designing the key to fit in the lock, you are actually designing the lock to capture a key in the case of metal organic frameworks. So I think that there's plenty of different applications because everything in the world's made out of atoms and everything's always happening at the nanoscale. And if you're able to zoom down and really understand what's happening there, then you can gain insights that would affect us in the real human scale world.
Yeah, and in the future of VR working with other types of applications like 3D Decision, for example, we're already working on integrations and we hope to continue to do tighter integrations with many different web applications to enable a seamless workflow for all scientists.
Fantastic. I am really excited to catch up with all of that in the future. So what can I say? Thank you very much for making my coffee break enjoyable and for sharing the great examples of such innovation for drug discovery. It was a pleasure, and I hope to see you soon again.
Great, yeah, thank you. It's nice sharing the virtual coffee.
Bye.